what it's about. And so it's a challenge for us, but I think that the idea of having the community know everything we just talked about in this room this morning would be good, if they'd be interested in it, to at least dispel naysayers or have people make educated decisions. So I like the working group idea, I like it being as broad as possible. I don't like that, if we do it, it'll be 6 months from now and we're still doing that. But this transparency piece for us and healthcare is becoming even more important. When Kyle talked about community health and value-based healthcare, what's gonna happen is, even now, hospitals will be measured. You can go online and see what their outcomes are and see what it costs for procedures, and that's coming to us too. And so, you'll know, just him saying 5-star in the nursing home, pretty soon people are gonna be saying, I want a nursing home, where do I go? I wanna see a doctor, what were the outcomes they got? Transparency is gonna be a big thing, but I like the idea of transparency about sharing with responsible people financially why we're having this discussion. And how you do that and who will attend, you probably, as you guys just said, there was some meeting upstairs with one person attending it today. How do you get people, it seems in Townsend, and this goes to Brad's point, would rather go gossip about stuff than find out what are the facts.
And Mr. Updegrove, that's the problem, that I see with not just the hospital aspect, but in so many different, just in the short time that I've sat in this chair, there's a tremendous amount of naysayers out there. The work groups and things like that are great because it gets the people that are serious about it together to try to figure out a problem. That's a good thing, but also in the same breath, it's a bad thing because it's always the same amount of people and the same people. And I've met with you guys on several different occasions, and I've always said the same thing. There's people out there that when I was let go from the sheriff's office, built a stand on what type of person I am. Just like when you guys hit your rough spot, they've built a stand on the type of agency that you are. Overcoming that is almost impossible. And so, even though it's the same people meeting every time, unfortunately that's the only way to get some business done. And I'm not looking to drudge this out. I would like to see something done soon, and not a lot sooner rather than later. I'm not asking for 3 months. I'm not asking for 6 months to investigate this.
Good, we can work on that in the next 30 days. We'll get over there, take a look at all our numbers, make sure you're comfortable with what is
and honestly, the biggest,
and not written.
My biggest thing is finding out what our
Evaluations.
thank you evaluations
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Because we are just like you are. We're also a business type as well. I mean, we're a government, but we're also we have to be responsible, just like you guys are trying to be responsible.
I have to share one more very important item that's going to come up here that you need to be aware of. We have a physician who will join our staff a year from now. Newly trained, coming out of a residency, but he has a huge background as a paramedic. So, this guy's broad understanding of the medical care is going to be incredible. He's got a great attitude. We're really excited.
He's not a kid. He's
50.
45 or 50 years old.
We are also, we were saddled with a 5-year contract with Dr. Campbell. And that 5-year contract is up the end of December. And we're not going to renew that contract. We've given him notice. Gave him 6 months notice versus 60 days notice, so that he has time to, because I know that this contract is is a vital piece of his economic survival, I think. Could be wrong, but I think. The other part why I need to tell you this is that it's tangled in that contract. That contract tangles up a lot of supplies, heating, stuff that have been written off or that we pay for, and we're not paying for it anymore. And that he's on county property, and it's county owned. So you must have had some insight there, Mr. Slifka, and he's been subsidized for about 5 years under that contract, which we're not gonna do anymore. We've got the emergency room covered, and if we had something I could show you on a chart, but we've got hospitalists available now who aren't working all day in a clinic. They're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and we've got this thing covered. What I'm trying to get across to you is that we are looking at every dime to be as sharp as we can be in delivering the care to the community of Broward County. And we're taking some hard steps. We want you to take some hard steps and at least give us a 1 or 2 year, you're gonna do PILT from hell or high water, so that we can budget and know where we're at. We're getting closer and closer to actually, this is where you want us to be, Commissioner Slifka and everywhere else, we might be self-sufficient. And I want to get to that boatload of money someday, but we have got to get the stars better aligned in the community to deliver the care. And this board is making some really hard choices to get there.
This boatload of money is covering day-to-day operating expenses. There is no, like Kyle mentioned, we're not covering the depreciation. There is no reserve for tomorrow. We are just cash in, cash out. But it's positive. That's a huge step for us, where we've come from in the last 3.5 years. You have no idea how much work has gone into this. And every time I walk down Main Street, somebody says something bad about us. I don't get it. I actually heard somebody refer to our hospital as a shithole. I'm sorry. Come on now. It was in trouble 3 years ago. It was in trouble 3 years ago because the people that were in charge of it let it happen. That's not true today. Today there are responsible people working hard to make this thing work for this community. This is a community I chose to live in because I wanted to raise my family here and my grandchildren. When I see this community turn on the hospital, I say something's really wrong here. And it's the same people that are short with the police, or short with the fire. It's everything here. This is our home. This is our community. What are we doing? This community is 35 miles from Helena, is 65 miles from Bozeman. We need our own primary care here. We don't need surgery, we don't even need to deliver babies maybe, but we do need primary care for this community, because when one of you has a heart attack, the first place you can get is the one that's gonna save your life. I'm sorry, that's just the way it works. I have a little experience with heart stuff.
I'm gonna I'm gonna tease Nick if that's okay, because you've encouraged me, you don't know this, but, so when you worked at the jail, you've talked about that was a business, and the hospital no longer makes the meals for the jail. Of course, in our business, we didn't like that, but it was a business decision, right?
Right.
Well, I think the community wants us to be able to be self-sufficient in operation, and so we make business decisions too that aren't appreciated. Kyle just told you about a big one that's gonna happen.
Right.
But it's a business decision, and it goes back a long way about why we have problems, and so, anyway,
No, yeah.
when you said that, and you said it a few months ago, I heard you say it, it's like, that's just where we're at on some of these
And
things.
it's, you know, it's a true fact, I mean, and you can talk with the administration over there right now, because I made that hard decision, they're reaping the benefits, and they do every year. But it was a business decision, very difficult decision, but my responsibility was that business.
And by the way, I think it was handled extremely well.
Well, I appreciate that.
I do. You know, I mean, we were in a tough time, but I couldn't argue with you if you, other than what prisoners make us damn and it's FTEs, but I saw where you're coming from.
Yeah, and, you know, and that's just, and Mr. Updegrove, that's what I appreciate about that, you know, is because you have, in this situation, you have to take away your personal feelings in it and do what's best for the business. You know, and that's, what, you know, when I did that.
I'll do a quick sum up for you, because with law enforcement here, I think they can appreciate some of the things we're trying to do. Our hospital, because of where the federal government is gonna start paying for and how they're gonna start paying for the care, is gonna be required to cover the entire care of that person and coordinate it. That's why we are very interested in public health and wanna be driving that, frankly, because poor public health will inhibit us from the best coordination of care for the patients here. And we've stumbled here, and even when we weren't stumbling, we were still ranked 35 in the state, health status wise, against Carbon County. We're a lot alike. So when we got into mental health services, we knew mental health services was a huge need, and it hadn't been served here for 5 years, maybe even longer. We're gonna have 3 full-time equivalents by the end of this year working mental health with the school, in the clinic, and hopefully in the community. That's our strategy. We are here to serve the people. And our community surveys have told us they wanted an MRI, we got MRI. They wanted imaging, we've got CT. They wanted mental health, we've got mental health. And so far we're making it pay. The charity care part is the emergency room and Medicaid. So when you look at the whole spectrum of where we're going, that's our strategy. We're being pushed hard by the federal government on value-based versus volume, and that's going to change. But we want to be right, shoulder to shoulder, contributing to our community's health.
And, you know, and it goes back to, you know, sometimes the right decision isn't always the popular decision. So I totally understand what you're saying in that.
Every decision we make is about what's best for the hospital. It is not this person, that person, or any of us, or, it's just what is the best decision for the hospital
Hospital
based
and
on the
community.
facts we have in front of us,
Hospital and community.
and the community. But the hospital and community are one.
Right.
Anyhow, so we would like, if you
I
want
wanna
to get,
make a comment before you
Okay.
go, but go ahead and finish.
well, just, let's get working party going and.
Yeah.
We'll show you where the.
I'll get a hold of Jenny
Okay.
and I'll get over there.
Okay.
But yeah,
I would appreciate, you know, a 30-day
I made her
window.
stay home today because we got a grant to look at accounts receivables and how to improve it. And we're in there with 11 other hospitals in the state, and she just got to be there. I'm
Sure.
sorry.
No, that's fine.
Money's money.
It is, it's what makes everything go
Shortage.
around. One thing, you know, you had mentioned you wanted to know what the valuations are, and I think that's important, cause it's really our foundation, but what I think everybody around the table needs to know is PILT. PILT goes to 50 counties, or 50 states in this union. There's over 1,200 counties that get PILT payments. If the federal government got rid of PILT, it wouldn't make a dent in the national deficit, but it would bankrupt most counties across the country. They are not gonna get rid of PILT. We got our payment for this year. We're paid in June for last year, so this coming June will be paid $580,000. It's a little bit down from the year before. There's a very complicated formula that determines PILT, but the thing is one of the most respected representatives for this country is ours, Representative Zinke. They don't come any more highly recommended or respected than him. He is a hard driver for PILT. He is working with both sides of the aisle right now and a Montana commissioner, Commissioner Devlin, to put together a new PILT formula. It would be done a whole lot more accurately, and Broadwater County stands to come out to the extreme positive on this formula. So I just want, you know, I don't know why PILT is also one of those things that's been targeted by the same group that Brad talked about earlier. A lot of counties use PILT to balance their budgets. We don't. We use PILT for capital expenditures, supporting our community, and unforeseen expenses. IGT is a great example of what we've done with PILT in the past. And we did authorize PILT for the IGT last fall, if you guys remember. I believe that was done in September or November. So I just wanted to bring out the facts about PILT. I am the representative for the Forested Counties Coalition for this county, and that's what we work on. So, anything else for the hospital crew?
No.
Okay, anything
I-
else for us?
I do appreciate, you know, the candidness and the openness, and, I mean, I understand your passion. I at one time was passionate too, so now I'm passionate about something else, so.
We will, I think, work on a public health proposal. I know we weren't asked for one, but I think it's to the betterment of the community that we're working shoulder to shoulder on this. And it forces us to be way more comprehensive in the coordinated care that we have to provide.
And there's so many issues in this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I'm just an old guy that's been around the block a couple of times, but we can do better.
Yeah.
The potential's here, and when you look at Carbon County, you say, my goodness, look what they've done. Well, why can't we do that? We can. We've got everything here that they have. All we have to do is put it together and work with it.
Sure.
And everybody has to get on the bus. And that's one of the problems we've had with the hospital the last 3 years. We didn't have everybody on the bus. No.
We still have some exits.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you guys.
How are you?
Yours. How you doing?
Okay.
Living a dream.
Frankly, we wish that
That's
you were
because we
the only
live
guys
Broadway.
at the trough.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Appreciate it.
I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Listen, thank you for listening.
Are you guys on the docket?
No, I don't think so. We just show us a little issue, I think, that came up, I'm not sure what it was, so this is like 5-10 minutes is all, so.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just need to use the restroom at the front.
Yeah. There's a line for it.
I'm just gonna stop the camera.
Well, get it up.
feel a little.
They are